think that's better. Ha ha. I had it all turned down. I was listening to a show. Let's see. Got a little bit louder. There we go. I think that's about right. Maybe a little bit more. How's that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I have a little bit of an update on the Millerton Lake sighting of Bigfoot, which is I only know of two other sightings there over the years. In fact, all of them in the past year, starting last summer. But all I know is there was a sighting at Millerton Lake. I haven't been able to get the girl to get back with me on it. I'm looking forward to hearing about it, though. I really am. I'm excited I want to hear the size of it, because the last one the very last one that I heard about was a Bigfoot that was so big that it was pulling a cow up a hill, and it was holding one hind foot and one front foot kind of like crossed from, like a right one and a left one, and it had them crossed, and it was dragging it up the hill like that. And they said it was a monster sized Bigfoot, bigger than the cow that it was dragging. And so I don't know how big that is. All I know is that's big. How's it going, everybody? I just got done listening to Jeff's show. It was interesting. It's pretty bloody there a little while, but it was good. Yeah, I think that's serious Bigfoot right there. So I'm really curious to hear what these people saw on Labor Day, if it was really big and huge, because the other sighting was pretty massive, like big. They were estimating around 9 feet tall, and it had a youngster with it that was around 5 feet tall. And the mother, I'm just assuming it was the mother, but the big one was sitting on a rock, and the littler one was like dancing around playing, and the big one was watching it. And the person ran to get some other people so they could verify that what they're seeing, and share. And when they came back, it was gone. And that was the other sighting. So it'd be interesting to hear what it is these people saw on Labor Day. Was it one? Was it two? Was it a big one, bigger than a cow, or big enough to drag a cow? I mean, and I really tried hard I kind of bugged everybody to talk with me, but I mean, I was getting no response. I got to talk to my son. He's really good friends with the people. They all went to school together. So I'm sure sooner or later I'll be able to get something on it. I just don't know when. I was hoping it would be quicker. And I told you guys that I would get back with you, as soon as I could. And I wish I would have came back to you with something, but I don't have anything. But I at least got back to you to let you know what I do know, which is not much. Talk about the evil gnomes, huh? The evil gnomes. Hey, Rob and Connie and Bolt Gun. How you guys? Sam Squatch, what's up, my man? Hi, Pam, Connie, and Lewis. Yeah, the evil gnome. The actual on Monsters and Mysteries in America, on I think it was called Bigfoot Wars, Evil Gnomes, and Hellhounds. That was the episode that Jeff and I was on, talking about the windows. And I even told the story about the Bigfoot War. And little did I told the whole story. They asked me about it, and I thought that was going to be put on the show, but it wasn't. Kathy Strain did it. And I didn't know Kathy Strain knew that whole story. She told it perfect, exactly what I heard. And she heard it from a different tribe than the one I heard it from. So it's a well-known story about the Bigfoot War here in California and what happened. But on that show where we talked about that, they had the evil gnomes. And then Jeff and I, we interviewed, it was Tammy Thomas was the girl or the lady, the woman that saw the evil gnome, and it was living in her house, and it terrorized them. But since then they've tore the house down, and I guess it was living in a shed outside of that place. But so that's all tore down, but that hasn't ended the evil gnome sightings and people having run-ins with this evil gnome along the river there, along the Tule River. And now the Tule River runs through the Tule Reservation and then comes out. And they were below the reservation, so downstream. And that's where this evil gnome hangs out. And I don't know if there's more than one or what. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it was a good episode. You know, that when I was kind of worried after doing Chasing UFOs, which I wasn't in that one. Jeffrey was in it, but that doesn't mean I wasn't there. I was there the whole time. In fact, I worked for Nat Geo as they shot, before they even came to town. I was setting up the shooting locations and getting the permissions for where to shoot and the permits. And then when they came to town, then I was with them the whole time during the shoot, every minute. So it wasn't like I wasn't at Chasing UFOs. I just wasn't on the other side of the camera, which was fine with me. But after doing those and then seeing how they mash the edit up to say what they want to say and not what the story really is, it kind of, I'm not all that big of a fan of TV shows. In fact, James Fox, he actually thought it was going to be a different kind of thing too, and it turned out to be not what he thought as well, and he was one of the stars of the show. Hey, Cold Warrior, what's up? Oh, I was BZ's in here. Hey, BZ, what's up, BZ? I don't see him in here, but it doesn't mean he's not. Oh, you were just over at BZ's. Oh, I see. What happened to the audio from that night? Which night now? I never seen that one. The video about the Americans starting a war between the Bigfoot and the Dogman. I haven't seen that. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, Jeff's show is a little bit bloody. He showed all that stuff. The audio, I have some audio. I have a whole bunch of audio, and because it doesn't have Paranormal Central name on it, I can use it. It's stuff that we collected together though as a team. I don't share a lot of it. I shared a couple of things, and people get on my case and tell me you guys are talking too much, or you're talking over the Bigfoot sounds. And what they don't realize is it's probably 4 hours of audio, and the first time we did it, we didn't know that we had the recorder about 50 feet away from us, and it was an expensive recorder. We didn't realize, we thought that was far enough away where we wouldn't talk over it, but it wasn't. It was picking us up like we were sitting right next to it. And the other part of it is I chopped the audio up to only when the Bigfoots are yelling. And if, what would happen is the Bigfoot, we would be talking and the Bigfoot would start yelling, and then everybody's like, "Oh, did you hear that?" And we would all shut up, and so would the Bigfoot. And then we'd sit there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes without saying a word and no Bigfoot sound. And we would think that it stopped. So we started off whispering, and pretty soon we're all talking again, a good 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden we realized that Bigfoot is hollering in the background again. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, did you hear that?" And then we all shut up again. Well, it wasn't that we were intentionally talking over the Bigfoot. The Bigfoot was intentionally yelling when we're talking. That's what was happening. So I get still emails to this day because I have that video on there, And then the other one is the little short clips of the Bigfoot that I have. That's the only usable video of the entire clip. Because for there was the Bigfoot, and then the rest of the clip is coming out of the pocket. Then they forgot to open the lens, and then when they did get it open, it was so far away that when they zoomed in, the wind was blowing. They couldn't hold it steady. So the Bigfoot's here, and it was going back and forth and back and forth. And they couldn't hold it on the Bigfoot. They were too excited. So I took the best out of, like 18, 20 seconds or something like that. And that was the best stabilized part of the video. I didn't mess with it at all. I just cut that little piece out and put it up there because it's the only place you really could see what it is. All the rest of the time, you'll be more aggravated than that 18 seconds or whatever it is. So it's really hard. I mean, people say, get a drone. I just had somebody put a comment, get a drone, and videotape with a drone. It isn't that easy to videotape or audio tape or anything tape a Bigfoot. And a lot of times, even when you're out there and that's your intention, things happen so fast that you don't get a chance to do it. And then when you put cameras, you intentionally put game cameras and stuff like that, they avoid the game cameras. They somehow can turn the game cameras off. They destroy the game cameras. We've only got maybe out of thousands and thousands, and I mean thousands of game camera pictures, we maybe have 4 pictures that could be Bigfoot. And I'm saying could be. It's not good enough to say it's Bigfoot, but you don't know what it is. It could be a squirrel really close to the camera. I don't know. We don't know what it is. So it really isn't that easy. And we've been doing this a long, long, long time and spent a lot of money trying to do it. I think what we have, we've even turned in DNA, and they tested it, came back human, and then they accused us of contamination. So we told them, take that up with Mickey. Mickey is he just retired from the Fresno Police Department as a crime scene investigator. That's what he did for a living for 20 years. We treated everything like a crime scene, so any evidence gathered was gathered by Mickey. He took that kind of personal, and I would too. If I'm a professional evidence gathering person. So they redid the DNA, and they swabbed everybody, all of us, and then they tested it to see if it was our DNA that contaminated, that made it human. Well, it turned out it was human, but it wasn't any of us. And it also did like a deeper test, a little bit more deeper. It came out that it was human, and there was a little percentage that was undocumented. That means they don't have DNA in any database that matches that DNA. So it's an unknown. It's a human type unknown. That's what it is. And that's all I know because we couldn't afford to go any deeper on that. So there you go on evidence collecting. It's not as easy as it. It sounds really easy. I mean, you can suggest anything. It's not easy. Okay, not easy. Even with the most expensive equipment and lots of it, it's not easy. And they don't make it easy either. Okay, let's see. Hey, Cryptid, what's up? Hi, Bolt Gun. I'm on the coast in Oregon, a short vacation, and went to... Cool. Man, there's some good Bigfoot stuff up there in Oregon, I'll tell you. Really? A new fire at Happy Camp? That's a bummer. That's a pretty good idea, Paul. And hi, Paul, by the way. Hey, Protean, what's up? Yeah, so I got another thing, and one of the other reasons I came on is I did a little more with the studio, not on the background or anything, but with lights. And how do I look? Okay, so now I got a new camera, I got a couple of new lights, and how am I looking and sounding okay? Because I've been really playing with everything a lot. And I hope everything looks all right and sounds all right. And if it's not noticeable, that is good. Because if it's bad, it's really noticeable. You know what I mean? Like if you don't notice anything bad, then it's good. Yeah. Everything's good. Yay. It's paying off. I've been spending a little money and time on it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Hi. Oh, let me see if I can read that. Mike. Hi, Mike. Yeah. That's something I want to get into tonight is I'm not sure. They don't report the numbers. We found out the Rangers and stuff don't report the numbers of people that go missing and stuff. And it really, it might be a quick report that somebody's missing, but they never follow up on it and they never let you know. Just like Jeffrey reported on the hikers that fell off the cliff. Like lots of people fall off cliffs, but you're not going to hear. That's going to be the last you hear of that story. There's going to be no follow up or anything on that. So that they keep everything on the hush hush and the down low, and it kind of sucks because I think a lot of it is related. I think there is portals in Yosemite, and I think it's the kind that you step into and you never come back on. And I think they're all over the place. That's the one I want to. That's what I want to talk about. The Oregon portals. Or I don't know if you guys heard about Adam Davies, and I can't remember the other guy's name. I've been researching it a little bit. Now I heard I've been talking to the guy that I don't want to say his name, but he's the guy that helped Dr. Johnson set up the portal. He supplied the machine that opened the portal that saved the race of the dying Bigfoot and brought them all over here. And supposedly this machine kept this thing open. But prior to that, Adam Davies and somebody else were out there with Dr. Johnson, and they seen first, well, from what they described, they heard a crackling sound, and it would be crackling for like 45 minutes, and then they would see a weird glow, and this is in the night, and these little critters came out, and according to Adam Davies, everybody calls it a Bigfoot portal. He says it is not a Bigfoot portal. Okay, this is what Adam Davies says. It is not a Bigfoot portal. It is some type of portal, but it isn't a Bigfoot portal. He never saw a Bigfoot go in or out or even peek out of this portal, but he did see two little they're like Bigfoots, but they're like little mini me Bigfoots with glowing eyes and malevolent looks on their face. And they were scared of him, and they woke Dr. Johnson up a couple of times, and he went right back to sleep. He told them, "Don't worry about it. It's just a Bigfoot portal or something." And they were like, "No, it's not," And then at one point, Adam Davies said, "Well," and these things are out there looking at him, and they're kind of at a distance from him, not threatening him yet, but they're looking at him really malevolently, like, they had bad intentions. And Adam Davies said out loud to the other guy, I wonder what they do if we go to bed, because they were out there for a while, and it didn't seem like they were going to go away. Well, as soon as he said that, it was like they understood what he said, and they came at them like an attack. And it scared them. And he felt like that they were coming to do bad to them, harm. They were going to harm them. And one of them turned on a flashlight and they disappeared. But then sleep was out of the question after that. So they sat there, and then a few minutes later they heard the crackling again, and it was like energy crackling. I don't know if you've ever heard like a power lines or something like that where it crackles, and it was crackling, and then all of a sudden the portal opened again, and these things came out again, and pretty much the same thing happened, and they used the flashlight and they turned it off. Well, they wound up staying up all night, and they never saw a Bigfoot. So it's not a Bigfoot portal, it's just a portal, and it had a weird glow coming out of it, and he says those were not cool. And even at one point they were using Jesus' name on these things, because they kept running at him and coming at him and they were using Jesus' name, and lights. The light seemed to make them disappear for a little bit. So, but only I've been talking with the other guy, the guy that helped Dr. Johnson hold a portal open. I don't know if it's the same portal, and let all these things in to the earth that's supposedly Bigfoot, but not Bigfoot. And there's a lot to that. And according to him, now has a guardian now. They assigned one of these beings or Bigfoots to him to guard him, because he's important and he could be attacked by other violent aliens or critters or whatever that don't like the Xanu or Xanu or whatever they call them. So he has a permanent one with him now that he can communicate with all the time and any time. They've actually healed him of some things that were wrong with him physically, that he knew was wrong with him, and now he doesn't have those things, so they healed him. And it's real interesting, and it makes you really wonder, what's really going on? What's really going on? Like, I wonder what you guys think about that. Oh, really? Sasquatch Chronicles is going to have Adam Davies on. I would love, maybe I should get a hold of him and see if he'll talk with me about that. Because he says that he actually got used by Dr. Johnson, and so did Bob Gimlin say that, and I mean, I don't dislike Dr. Johnson, and I think something's going on over there. I just think that nobody really knows, like I know a lot, and not even what I know might even be wrong. I'm not saying I know everything and that I'm some kind of expert or anything like that. I just have been at it for 30 years and get out there and get where they're at and have experienced quite a few things, and at the same time have interviewed hundreds of other people in their encounters. And so, I mean, like the average keyboard internet researcher only knows what they can research online. I've been in the field many, 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 many hours and talked to many people, and sometimes whole families or groups of friends and stuff like that that have had multiple encounters. And we compare notes with people about some of the things that I've experienced and they've experienced, and it's helped me to figure out, it actually has actually blown my paradigm, or what I thought I knew a few times, what I thought I knew for sure about Bigfoot. And I'm not so sure anymore. The more I learn, the more I know I need to learn about them, because they're not only elusive, but they're out of this world, kind of like, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised about the Darrows, and I've never seen a Darrow, but I've researched the Darrow quite a bit, and they're more like a demon thing to me. And I'm starting to think a lot of this paranormal that because not only have I researched and talked to people about Bigfoot, I mean, you guys know, I talked to in the hundreds of people that's been abducted, all kinds of alien encounters. I mean, they weren't abducted, but they had encounters with aliens, where they've had ships following them regularly, and they could have been abducted because they don't know, and like, for instance, or for example, I should say, people that have they see ships, and that's the last thing they remember. The next thing they remember is waking up in their bed. I mean, that would be, maybe they like see the alien, and that's about all they remember, and then they're waking up. So there could have been a whole bunch of stuff that happened between the time that they remember and the time they were waking up, but they don't know. And that's more what everybody says than people remembering what happened. People that remember things of what happened, they only remember bits and pieces. They don't even remember the whole story. So, like, it would take hundreds and hundreds of these people with little bits and pieces, and you could put it together and maybe figure out something, but that's a really I'm thinking that they're not what we think they are. They might be like the Darrow, only they're just like the Bigfoot might be like the Darrow, they come across as blood and flesh and blood type critters, and then all of a sudden they, like one of our team members, we were in at the spot, and a Bigfoot took off running, and it would run, and then it would pop out, disappear, and then over here it would pop back in, and it was still running, and then over here it would pop out again, and then it would pop in again over here and run some, still running, and it ran all the way across, and it was going in and out all the way across. So, and it wasn't going behind anything. It was a wide open field that this thing was running across. He's the only one that saw it. He took off walking a little ways ahead of us, and that's what he saw, and he came back all excited. I trust what he says because a couple of the videos that we have of the Bigfoots are his. And also, he's been doing it 20 some odd years, maybe close to 30. Like, he's been doing it maybe as long as I have. So and he's seen them. Like, out of all of our team, there's only 3 of us that have even seen them, more than one time. So I trust what he says a lot because he has been doing it a long time, and he doesn't understand how they like go in and out of phase. I mean, that's what he was calling it, in and out of phase. That was weird. I don't know why my mixer pops like that. I think you guys could hear that too. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards everything is in the demon world, but then it doesn't all have to be demon world. All I know is when you start, because of the research, it leads to that. And then, so what I did was start researching demons and Nephilim and stuff like that, and jinn, and everything starts to come together. A lot of the things they do, the aliens, the Bigfoot, some of the paranormal stuff, the hauntings, ghosts, all that stuff, they all have some things in common with, and it all would seem like it's the same thing as demons and ghosts, what people call ghosts, and I don't even think ghosts are ghosts. And I'm not saying this lightly. I'm saying this after years and years of talking to people and going in houses and having things happen to me by some of these things. I've been woken up. I've slept in haunted places on purpose, and I'm not coming from it from saying, oh, I read this on the internet. I'm coming from this from talking to many, many people and actually going into haunted places. I guess the only difference between our team and some of the other teams, they specialize in just ghosts, or they just specialize in UFOs, or they just specialize in Bigfoots. We kind of was doing all of it. Whatever the call was, then we went on it. And even before I even hooked up with these guys, the team that we have, I have been doing this because I'm interested in it, and a lot of times it would just be friends, but I went beyond a friend telling me, oh, I would go back and see where they saw it, try to recreate things, and I've been doing that since like 1990. So a long time, and also reading everything you guys read on the internet. So all the experiences and all the people I talk to, and also everything I could find on the internet, and then try to figure out what's going on with all this stuff. And it's all leading to one kind of thing, Hey, Adolf, what's happening? Hi, Amanda. Hey, Paul. Well, there's everybody's showing up. It's Wednesday's a good night to be on, huh? Must be boring tonight. No ancient aliens. Man, I've researched the Greek mythology, and as you guys know, you guys know Shuff. I've had Kaiser Shuff on. My buddy, the giant killer. He doesn't like to talk about it, but that's what he got known for. That's how I met him. He actually came to me with it, that he killed a giant, and then it was verified by two other people that were with him that they killed a giant, and that led me to researching Greek mythology. And I don't think it's myth. I think it's pre-flood, but it's not myth. I think those things really were walking around. And if you read the book of Jasher, I think it is, or the book of Enoch, you'll start seeing it will fill in a lot of things that will help to understand what we're dealing with today. It really will. So if you're willing to be open-minded about things, go check those books out and read them. They're online for free, and you can. It might take a little while to read. Some of them are even people read them, and you can lay back and listen to it. But it'll open your eyes, because you'll start seeing similarities of what they're saying today. Like the Bigfoots running around, they're giants. Like a Bigfoot that could drag a cow up a hill. I mean, come on. And it looks bigger than the cow, and it was a full-size cow. So that was a giant in my eyes. That's a giant. And it has a cone head. And then the cone heads are down, they have the skeletons with the cone heads down in Mexico and Central America and South America. I mean, yeah, Paul, exactly. These are the post flood ones. The ones ones that's happening now is post. And the Bible even says, and so does the book of Enoch, that in those days, these days will be like that. And we're starting to be in those days. More and more of this stuff is going on. And just be open-minded and don't close yourself off. And wow, thank you, Cold Warrior. Man, have you seen the picture? Are you a friend of his on Facebook? Have you seen his pictures that Kaiser has put some pictures out? He's alive and well, but boy, does he look like a warrior. I'm going to tell you, that dude. I mean, like, wow. They have there's a Suburban. They said they took a shortcut. Luckily, it was completely armored. Man, it is shot up, man. And Kaiser said all he remembers out of the ride was clear glass turning green and crackly looking, and he couldn't see out of it. And they were being shot up. But yeah, and I don't know where they're at. I don't know what they're doing. He won't say. That's okay. Maybe one day he'll tell us what the heck he was up to. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know a lot of stuff, because he won't tell me. He alludes to it, He doesn't like to talk about the giant thing, because his very best comrade, or his friend comrade / comrade, his leader, his mentor, that's who got shot, was killed by the giant. And the only guy that got killed by it was that guy. And he can't hardly talk about it, because it brings up emotions inside of him. So, I mean, I thought about sharing some of the pictures. I wonder if I can somehow. I might be able to. Like, if you guys don't mind. You know what? I'll do it on the next one. I'll put them on my computer, and I'll do it on the next one. and I'll do a little update on Kaiser Chef and what he's up to, and share some pictures. I'm sure he won't care. They're killer. Oh my god, makes you think you might be working for Q or something. The scariest call that I ever had to go to was a house that they said there was they were calling it a demon possessed house. And we got over there, and this is before Jeff. This is like 1987. And I was learning about demons and stuff like that. And I was hanging out with these guys that would go and they would clean out demon houses. And I really got into it after Africa. And you guys heard about my Africa story, right? Well, that really sent me into the demon thing and learning about demons. And I hooked up with some guys. And we went over there, and these Satan ritual people were living in this house, and they moved out. And the owner of it went in to paint, and this entity grabbed him and threw him around and choked him out and threw him out the front door naked, ripped his clothes off him and threw him out. And nobody would go in there. So they called us, and we went over there, and we prayed before we went in there, and we went in there, and things started flying at us. It was just, lift up and flying. In the middle of the room, they had ripped the carpet up, and they had a pentagram drawn on the floor. There was blood smeared all over the walls. They had peckerwood, the words peckerwood everywhere, Nazi symbols. It was bad, really bad. In one room, there was a Ouija board. And so, we started cleaning the house out, one room by room by room. And all I could say is all hell was breaking loose every time, but you could tell when the room was clear. And we got in the living room, and there was a fireplace going, and it was one of those gas fireplaces where you could turn it on and off. Well, it was going on and off all by itself. The fire would come on, and then it would go off, and then it would come on, and it would go off. And at one point it was on, and it was staying on. And as we got in the living room, this guy had the Ouija board, and he threw it in there, and it screamed. The Ouija board screamed, and you had to man up, right? You couldn't run. You can't show fear, even though inside of me I was scared to death. I'm gonna tell you right now, I was scared. But we got the place cleaned out, and then the guy was able to go in and paint and recarpet, and I don't know how he got all the markers. He had to do some work to get that stuff out of there, because it was just all over the walls and the ceiling. It looked like they took broom handle and poked holes in the ceiling and the walls. They destroyed everything in there. The place was really trash, but that was the scariest one I ever went on. Wow, dude, Ghost Wolf, that's a trip, man. That's scary. But yeah, the people get superhuman when they are demon possessed, and they can do superhuman things. I watched this one guy that was possessed, and he was throwing people around like Superman. In fact, he kept saying he was Superman, and he was throwing people around like Superman. And they finally got the demon out of him, but man, it tore him up when it came out. I mean, it was like ripping his soul when it came out. But when he was such a kind person after that. I mean, he went from really mean, cussing, hurt you, punch you, grab you, kick you, all that kind of stuff, to one of the nicest guys. But it was a one long night, I'm gonna tell you, with that guy. Yeah, you know what a lot of people don't know, and I'll probably catch a lot of flack for this, for saying this, but after the years and years that I've been doing this, I found if you don't have Jesus, like if you haven't accepted Jesus, they own you already. So you could be the nicest good person, and but if you don't believe in Jesus and you don't accept him, they already own you by default. They own you. It's a either or thing. And so like the people that, and the only reason I know that is sometimes people would go with us and they say they want to learn, and they say, that they believe in Jesus, they gave their heart to Jesus, but when they get inside that house, if they did or not, because they're the ones that get attacked and thrown around, and scratches appear on them, and they get choked out. I watched this guy get drug up the wall by his neck like this. You couldn't see what was doing it, but he was going up the wall, and he was supposed to be somebody that had accepted Jesus, and he didn't. But everyone that accepted Jesus doesn't get touched. That's something to think about. I mean, I'm not trying to push a religion or anything. I'm just saying this is my experience, and it doesn't hurt to have Jesus. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt at all, and it makes you wonder, why does China go after all Christians? Why is that the first thing that everything gets attacked, that gets attacked is that name? Why does that get attacked? Why? You ever wonder why the Christians get beheaded and all that? Why is it so important to get rid of that? What would want that gone? Just think about it. Yeah, right on. It does. It'll wear you out. You're right, Bolt Gun. You're exactly right. But they wanted to be worshipped. Those things that's in the mounds wanted to be worshipped, and the tribes worshipped them, and so they consider it they consider it hallowed ground, or you don't go there, it's all sacred. But really, it's not good. It's not good to be over there anyways. Yeah, I think they are over there. Sure does, Ghost Wolf. Very true, my man. Hey, Brown Dwarf. Yeah, it's getting really, like, I'm not taking sides just to take sides. All you have to do is read the newspaper, watch the news, and especially what's going on in our government today. It's starting to become very apparent that the powers that be that were running our country and the world, in all the kingdoms of the world. See, we're not a kingdom, but the other places are kingdoms. They have kings and queens and stuff like that. Those are kingdoms. Now they're all the people are being held hostage by bloodlines. And we're starting to learn about the bloodlines. I mean, it's in the news now. I mean, it's coming out. Child pedophilia. Jeff had a whole thing on it tonight on his. He's finally waking up. I've talked to Jeff about this many days and nights, and over campfires while we're out squatching and stuff like that. And it took a long time for him to figure it all out, but he's waking up. He is now an awake person, and I hope I think that some people are gonna be drugged, screaming and kicking all the way to the awake part. They know and they want to be awake, but they want to hold on to what they learned and what they know. And it's easy to deny right now, but it's going to get really, really hard here in the future to deny what you see and hear. It's going to come out, and I think a lot of people are going to freak. It's going to blow everybody's little paradigms out of the things that they think they believe or don't believe or whatever. It's going to blow it all out. It's going to be out in the open, and there's nothing anybody could do about it, and it's happening. And I'm not doing anything about it. I mean, I'm not bringing it. It's happening all by itself. Right. It's been a big lie for a long time. A long time. Oh, man. The Donald Marshall thing. We interviewed Donald Marshall 3 times. And I think that he may be brainwashed a little teeny bit, in that he thinks that he doesn't believe in God. And I understand it would be hard to believe in God if you were a kid and you lived in these demon lizard things. Isn't it amazing that every place in the world has dragons or serpents? And even the Bible says the great serpent, the one that led Adam and Eve astray, and I actually think that was an orgy, believe it or not. I could go deeper on that. I won't, but so what happens is his family is in league with these demons that are under the ground, of course. And if you watch Star Wars, it pretty much tells the whole thing. The cloning, the clone wars, the clone tubes, the arenas. Star Wars spells it out, and even has some of the lizard-looking demons in the Star Wars. I mean, they're telling you in Star Wars what's going on in Donald Marshall's world. So anybody that's really familiar with Star Wars and the whole trilogy or Star Wars thing, they know already, but they might think it's fantasy, but it's not fantasy. There's truth in it, a lot of truth. Well, he has a lot of truth. A lot of truth. Like he talks about them killing the kids and eating the kids. He talks about the cloning and all that. When you see like John McCain and you see them all with the black eye, you can look that up. Everybody with the black eye, that's when they had that lizard went in and put their essence, they put the essence under their eye, and it's like a sperm, and it goes in, and then it goes into the brain, and it actually takes over. And if you remember, there's a Star Trek show on that from way back. I mean, a regular show, I think it is. Maybe it was a movie, but they had a little bug that went in the ear, and it took over the person. Then the person wasn't the person anymore. They could act like they were, and they knew everything about the person, and they could be the person, but really they were whatever that thing was. It actually hijacked the person. Remember, that's what's interesting about this stuff. Wow, Cold Warrior, thank you so much. You're the man. Right on, bro. It must be your night off, huh? Drunker than the dawn. Oh, that's good. Yeah, the Wrath of Khan. That's it. That's it. That was the one with the bug, the thing that went in the ear. Yeah. And I mean, there's other movies with that too. Like the one Alien where the girl has the baby out of, it's the alien. I mean, they hint in a lot of them. Even Jeff said some tonight. I can't remember the name of the movies, but they're talking about the adrenaline, and they sell it, and there's universal markets for it. Yeah. Wow. First night off, man. Enjoy, bro. Woohoo! Yeah. Enjoy that night off. Talk about all these creepy things on your night off, huh? Hey, Toots, how are ya? Long time no see. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, Drenochrome. There you go. And the human body as a host. Yep. Thank you, Toots. We love you. Everybody loves you. I'm actually, I got to get a hold of Heidi. I want to have Heidi. I haven't been, I've been so busy. Like I feel bad. I finally, I got my phone. I got it hooked up. So, but I feel bad. I haven't been keeping up on anything, Facebook, anything. I've been busy. And it seems busier as I was telling my wife I need to start writing stuff down because the list keeps getting longer and longer, especially with her health issues. I mean, she's over 50% deaf. She has fibromyalgia, and there are a whole host of other things. Me and her both have dental problems. Got to do the dentist, and I mean, between the two of us, we've been binging around doctors and cardiologists and you name it, sleep specialists. It's just one thing after another, and then trying to finish the house up, and the car broke down, keeps breaking down. I actually have an idea. I don't know if you guys would be willing or not, but I created a Patreon account, and I'm not all about money, and you guys know that. But only I don't make very much money, and things are not looking so great for me monetarily wise. And I will make a deal with everyone that I'll come on more regular. I'll set time to come on. And I have a Patreon account. And if you go to the Patreon account and donate $1 a month, that's it, just $1, and help me out, I'll start doing it anyways, whether you guys do it or not. Start coming on more regular. That's why I got the lights and everything. I am preparing to do more, and I'm going to do some recorded stuff also, deep research on things, because I like chatting with you guys, and I want to do some deep research to show you where I find these things. But the only way I could do that is do it recorded. So that way I can line everything up, and I can actually record it like a little hour long. I'll call it deep diving or whatever deep diving a research item, and or go down, or I'll call it rabbit holes or whatever you want to call it. But I'll be bringing some of that stuff too. And but I have a link that I put in on the bottom of the YouTube videos, in, where underneath or right above the comments, I put some links, and I have a Patreon link. And I was telling my wife, I hate even asking. I've been talking to her about it for a couple of months, and $1 a month, like, I don't want to break nobody's back. I don't want to hurt anyone financially. And I figured $1. And if I start getting, if there's 300 or 400 people, 500 people, and they all do $1, that's a lot to me. That would fix my car. That would help us get back and forth to the doctor's appointments. It would help me to spend the time doing more over here where I really want to be at, instead of, doing all that other stuff. But only I would really appreciate it. And I already appreciate everything you guys have done so far. I mean, beyond my wildest dreams, you guys have helped me out a lot, and you guys don't even know how much that has touched me to the bone, all the way, or to the heart. You guys have hit my heart completely. I love you guys so much, and I even feel like it's too much sometimes. But you guys are the greatest. You're my friends, and actually like family to me. That's why I like going on the chat and chatting with you guys straight up. Yeah, I know a couple of you already did it. That's what gave me the idea. I think, Pam, you've been doing it. I think I have 3 people giving me $1 a month or something like that. And that's actually what gave me the idea. But I didn't really want to go out and ask for it. But as my car, it's 18 years old, and it seems like I'm fixing it left and right, and I can't afford really to fix it. So the power steering pump dumped on me, completely dumped, like, and I thought, okay, that's it. And it was around $200 for the power steering unit, and I don't even know if I physically could fix it. But I went and I bought some $11 Lucas stop leak for power steering pumps, and I used, I think, 2 bottles, and it stopped the leak, but I don't know for how long, right? So I'm driving it around again. It's driving. I prayed for it, laid hands on it, and it stopped leaking. But I know it's only a temporary fix. And then an electrical problem happened, and I can't use the door locks. The alarm goes off weird. The windows won't roll up and down. All the inside lights blink. It beeps if I don't have it. Like, continues to beep if I don't have the seatbelt in. And I got the part for it, only I know it's going to take me 2 days to fix it, and it's been 100 degrees every day, so I haven't went out to tear the dash apart to fix it. And today we were coming back from a doctor's appointment, and I had to hit the brakes a little bit hard, and I could feel the grind on the left front, and I'm like, oh man, I got to do the brakes on this thing, And then it needs the timing belt. It's starting to get bad gas mileage. And one of my friends has one of those computer things, and he put it on there. He goes, man, your timing belt, you're going to need a timing belt and a water pump. They do it at the same time. I'm like, man, so I need to write a list and start knocking these things down, or get it running really good, sell it, and buy something else. I'm not sure what to do, but I'll be praying about it. You guys pray for me on this so that I get the right answer on what exactly should I do. You're kind of right, hysterical. I don't give 10% to the church. I tithe my time and some money, But over my, like, how I did it on the tithing thing is I raised foster kids. I took in foster kids, and that's how we did it. I mean, the church is cool and everything, but they're not really helping anybody. How many churches do you know help people? If you have a need, like I had needs, I ran out of food, and went to the church, and they give you garbage, old stuff with worms in it and everything. It was like, what? Come on. They're spending it all on buildings and all this other stuff, they're not helping anyone. So that was a long time ago when I was young and raising my family. And that's when I thought, you know what? I'm not giving them another dime. I'm going to do God's work, but I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to give. And I don't like to say what I do because I don't want to rob myself either. Because in the next life, what you do when you give and stuff like that, you get given back to in your next life. Because we really don't die. So when you get into the other realm, all the hardships and everything that you went through and endured here, that turns around. And in the Bible it talks about it, where the rich man, for him to get in heaven is almost like impossible, but the poor guy, it's going to be turned around, and the one that had all the problems and gave the what little they had, they're going to be rewarded big time. They'll be rich in the afterlife. And I don't really like calling it afterlife. I call it on the realm where we were created to be in the first place. And then we'll finally realize we'll be in the area what we were really created to be, and be like how we were created to be. Not this little sandbox that we're living in right now, where we're learning to deal with people and play nice and all that. And there isn't any place in there where it says give 10% to the church. It's like give to the poor, help the widows, help the poor, help the this, help the that, and it isn't even money. A lot of times it was like 10% of your first harvest or something. So just keep that in your mind. I believe you're right too. I believe you're right, man. If you know my Africa story, I went with some of the, like, really super Christian groups, and they were sending money to Africa, but only 15%, 11 to 15% was actually reaching the tribe that it was intended for. All the rest of it was being tariffed and stuff like that. And that's what I like about Trump. He's making it a more even playing field because he understands business. And we've been getting ripped off for a long time by the other countries. But the churches are all in league with it. And they're all about money, all about driving the nice car and having the big house and all that stuff, And I know I'm going to catch it. I'm probably going to get a ton of emails and stuff for saying these things, but that's what I believe, and I live it. Yeah, if in my YouTube, I have a Patreon. If you go where the picture of the mountains are, there's a Patreon thing right there. And then also there's a link, or maybe I have that of the store. I have a store where I put some shirts and stuff. I made a logo of the foot, and it says Squatch Zone on it. That's my logo now. I made it myself. I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, it's not the best, but I'm not no graphics guy. So that's my logo for now. And my wife's been telling me to start another, because I get a lot of hate mail about, like what I'm doing right now. I'm not talking about Bigfoot. and people click on the videos thinking that I'm going to talk about squatches, and I'm not talking squatches. So I get a lot of hate mail about it and bad remarks and stuff, but I'm not ever going to turn off the comments in the bottom. I'm just not. I'm not afraid of everyone. But she was saying, start up another one and call it um, all topics all the time or something like that. Or, some other, make another YouTube that where it doesn't matter what I talk about, you know. And I've thought about that. Maybe I should. I don't know. I think you guys leave a comment in the bottom of what I should do, if I should do that or not, or just keep going where I'm going and doing what I'm doing, because I think it doesn't really matter what the name of the YouTube is. Some people name their names their name, and then all they talk about is Bigfoot or UFOs or ghosts or whatever. So I don't think the name really matters so much. That's what I want to just keep going to. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, Pam. And some of you guys are like, Pam, she sent me t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. Connie just sent me that big leg bone with the tine on it, the weapon. I have it over there. I'm going to hang it on the wall. I bought some more stuff where I could hang things on the wall today. After the doctor's appointment, we went over and got some things at Walmart, and I bought a light and a diffuser so that I could light it up better in here so that people could see me and I'm not sitting in the dark. Video eats a lot of light, so you have to have light. Well, I mean, I like to talk about everything, and luckily, I'm old and I've done a lot of stuff, been around the world, lived quite a life. So I have a lot to draw from, experience to draw from. I didn't like live in one little town and work in one factory and just do one thing all my whole life. I've hot air ballooned. I've crashed a hot air balloon. I mean, whatever, like I'm the guy that when the opportunity came, I grabbed with both hands and hung on and I went for it because I have this, and I even try to tell my kids this too. When opportunity is sitting in front of you, you can either stay in the safe zone or you can go out on a limb and you could go for it. And I didn't want to have any woulda, shoulda, couldas. So when I got old, I wanted to I didn't want to be sitting back going, man, if I would have just did that, or if I could have just made myself do this, or I should have went for it when I should have went for it. I didn't want none of that. I mean, I still have some only because I got hurt and I can't do it now, physically can't. So that's caused a lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas, but it isn't because I don't want to. It's because physically I can't do it anymore. So that kind of drives me nuts a little bit because I mean, I've been all around the world, hiked everywhere, faced off demons, Bigfoots. In fact, I saw a picture today. Somebody, my buddy, I'll have him up where you guys can see him. I don't know if I could get everything on camera behind me, but in this room, all around the room, I'm going to have all kinds of stuff, Bigfoot stuff, all kinds of stuff. And he made some toys, and his name's Gene St. Jean, and he makes toys, like all the Marvel toys and everything, but he made these Bigfoots. But he had a drawing or a toy a little figurine that he made, and it was the Mothman, and he had it almost what I saw. The only thing different was the wings were fatter and shorter, The legs didn't have hair on them. Otherwise, it is what I saw. If he would make the wings longer and skinnier and put hair on the legs, that's what I saw. And so, man, and I actually encourage everyone, since I got hurt, if you have like if you have a bucket list, things that you've been wanting to do, and you just don't take the time to do it, like even hugging your kids or grandkids or spending time with them and stuff like that, because you don't know when the day is that is the last day. You don't know when, you're going to be not here anymore or not able to do some things that you want to do. So the thing that I tell everyone now is make time now. Like, time is short because you don't know what day. I mean, I went in a simple procedure and I came out of it 7 days, 8 days later in a wheelchair. And forever in pain after that, and lost my ability to hike and do all that. Enough so much so that Jeff had to get rid of me because I couldn't keep up with his shooting schedule. And it's true, I couldn't keep up. I really couldn't. He could have made it easier on me where I could. I think he kind of made it hard on me so that he could get me out of there. But only he would. I think he looked at it as the producers and stuff like that. They don't want disabled people. I beg to differ. If you could do the job, then they're not going to get rid of you. In fact, I think it's illegal to fire people if they're disabled. So yeah, you might think about that sometime. But yeah. But only I mean, I can't hike up the hill, but there's a lot of things I still can do. But it isn't the things I want to do, that's for sure. I have aspirations to climb mountains and go to Machu Picchu and go up to the top, and I can't do none of that now, and that bothers me. But what really bothers me even more is people that are locked into life and they don't call their kids, they don't call their parents, or they let little stupid things get in the way of things, and then one day it's too late, and you can't undo what any of it. The person's not there anymore to call, or you don't have the ability to talk, or you're not even in the world. So now's the time. Like, time is short. If you're not enjoying life, it's time to figure out what to do to change that to where you enjoy it. Even in my jobs, I couldn't work. I didn't like jobs. So I pretty much wound up most of my life running my own businesses, and I was a lot more happier, even though it's scary and you're not clocking in and out, and sometimes you didn't make that money. It just made you hustle harder. I liked it better because the potential to make more money was there and more happiness. And I thought happiness was the car and the house and all that stuff. And I found out after that wasn't. I was spending all my time going after that. After I got hurt, like, I didn't know my wife like I thought I knew my wife. I didn't know my kids like I thought I knew my kids. I didn't know my grandkids hardly at all. Only now I'm not locked in to where I have to do anything. So now I know my wife, and I know her better than I probably like when we first got married. I know her. I know her. I know my kids. I've spent time with them. I spent time with my son this week, doing things that he likes to do. And whether I like to do it or not, I was just doing it because I like hanging out with him. And the grandkids, we went and we changed the mattress on our bed. The mattress, it's over 10 years old, and it was killing me. And we got a cheapo mattress. It's nice. It's a memory foam mattress. It's not the best one, but we changed it out. And then me and the grandkids played on it for like 4 or 5 hours, And I know my grandkids, like I never would have known them if I uh, went to work and then came home and said, I don't have time, I don't have time. I make time now because I don't have time. Because I don't know how much time I have left. I already died once, and now I have 4 stents in my heart, and I could go, boop, So I don't stress. I try to make everything as happy as can be. I try to enjoy my family as much as I can, be there. If I'm not enjoying something, I don't stay with that very long, because there's no time to be unhappy. You have to find out what makes you happy and be happy. If you spend more than a week being unhappy, it's time to think about what you're doing and change that, because there's no time to stay unhappy. I mean, in 5 minutes, I could walk out the door and fall over, and anyone can. You could get in your car and get T-boned. You could fall off the porch and bump your head. I mean, you could slip in the shower. I mean, you could die in your sleep. I mean, nobody knows. Nobody knows. So whatever you do, enjoy everything to the fullest as best you can. Not having a working car is very stressful. Yes, but not having a payment I own it, so I don't have a payment, so I'm really happy. And the first part of my life, I spent paying payments on everything, and after I got hurt, I decided I was going to own everything, no payments. But I still hate things like insurance and stuff where they make you pay, every month. Phone bills, I hate phones because they make you pay every month. I hate payments. Hey, what's up? I haven't heard of any nightcrawler sightings in a long time, believe it or not. Yeah, well, it's better to have a POS than nothing. Yeah, I mean, I understand that they've made everything so freaking expensive you can't buy cash. I mean, the world is greed, and it's like either you're gonna buy that old car and not have payments, or if you want to have a dependable car, then you got to have payments. I mean, they pretty much set it up like that. The fix is in, and it's against us. Hi, Toots. How are you? You're growing too, huh? Getting big, girl. How old are you now? And what grade did you start this year? Yeah, everybody, you have to have a car. You don't want to be like in Africa where you're riding around on everybody's, like a pickup truck with 50 people on it and stuff like that, hanging off the mirror. Exactly. Hey, Ed, what's up, man? Actually, I have a free phone. I have an Obama phone. That's what they call it. It's free because I have a low income. They only allow one per household, so that means your wife can't have one or anything like that. And it's the cheapest piece of crap. Even the $13 one a month one is a piece of crap. You can't have any apps on it. It maybe one app, and it's the app for the phone company that gives it to you. So if you want any kind of phone, you gotta pay for a service. Like what this phone, for instance, my daughter bought two of them. They're cheap. You can have three apps about on it, but they don't. I didn't have to buy it. My daughter bought two of them, and then I went to T-Mobile. They actually had a deal at the time. Anyone over 55, if you're 55 and over, then it was $60 a month, no taxes, no anything, flat $60 for everything, unlimited text, unlimited data, unlimited minutes. And they've since raised that to $70, but I got in it when it was $60. So it's me and my wife with $60 can barely afford it, but only when we're out. Like I'll drop her at a doctor's office, and then she gets done before I'm back, because I won't sit there sometimes. I'll go run to the gas station, or, go pick up the case of water, or do other things while she's in there. And if she gets done sooner, then she could still call me or text me. So we had to do that. Yeah, I enjoyed that one too. Um, I, I I'm not sure what he wants. You know, I think he really filmed the Bigfoot there, but only he's like he wants to be on coast to coast. And I put him with Heidi. Heidi answered him, but it wasn't good enough. She's doesn't know him or anything. I really don't know him that much. And he's like, you need to talk to Heidi some more, like to get him on coast to coast. But coast to coast, you gotta really, to be on there, you have to write a book. That's how you get on coast to coast. So they don't just have people telling stories anymore. Art Bell used to, but not anymore. Now it's a money making thing. They make a little money off of every book that they sell. So you want on coast to coast, write a book, or else call on open line Friday, open line night, and see if they let you stay on long enough to tell your story. But that's about it on that. Yeah, that's something, Boltgun. That's something we don't get to pick. We don't get to pick the family. We don't get to pick what we look like. We don't get to pick what country we're going to live in. We don't get to pick any of that stuff. Once we're here, we just deal with what we're dealt with. And that's basically it. Yeah, I don't know. I noticed him making the circuit. I didn't check him out that good. I just thought it was a good video, and thought, put him on and talk to him. Seems like a nice guy and everything, but it's one video. It's pretty good, but I don't know. I've been doing this a long time, and I mean, like we were saying, brought DNA, and I have him yell. Me and Jeff have brought all kinds of stuff to the table. Yeah, there's really no money in it. You're not gonna, unless you're looking for fame and fortune or something, maybe, but that's not gonna. I don't know. It's not gonna get you all fame and fortune either. There's nothing to it. I thought about my everybody's been telling me, my family's been telling me to write a book. I don't know what to write it about. Honestly, me and Heidi, she's wrote 5 books. That's something that me and Heidi has sat and talked about late into the night. Like we'll start chatting on texting. We'll be texting starting like 9 o'clock at night, and we'll be texting until 3 in the morning. And she's like, just start writing. But I don't know. What do I write about? Like, I have no idea where to start. What, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to write a book, I guess. I thought about the Africa one. I really did. And just only write that as a book. I really did think about that. 'Cause that's almost unbelievable. I mean, even unbelievable to me, and sometimes it's been so long ago now, but it's just like I can see it in my mind, just like yesterday. That was a life-changing event. And I have it written down in it. I wrote it all down. I haven't read it in forever, but I did write it down right after it happened, and I have that somewhere just so that I would remember. But I wrote it down because I thought I was going to have problems with the preachers due to, lawsuit problems, and I wrote everything down so that if I had to do anything, I could revert back to what I wrote. And they have the video, so if they have to produce the video and then it goes with what I wrote, so at least it should. And then I thought about I could write a Bigfoot one. I guess start with my story and then just up until today, where it's taken me and what I've learned and all that. I mean, I have sat and thought about it a lot. I'm just not really good at sitting down and, like Heidi says, you gotta sit down and make yourself type out for an hour or so a day or however long until you finish it, And I start them and then I go really good for like 2 or 3 days, and then my list is so long of the things I have to do that I'll stop doing it and not meaning to, and then I don't get back to it, and that part right there, I don't really have time. I'm living life, still writing. I guess I'm making a book every day or a chapter, Man, I was reading about Facebook, Google, Twitter, all that stuff's DARPA. YouTube, even DARPA. It was all about getting as much information about people as they can. I mean, about people's lives, getting into people's lives and information that people wouldn't normally give up. And all of it is big setup. It's all a setup by the government, and it's all to learn information about people so that they could use it to brainwash people and do the cattle mentality thing on people. And I believe that. I think Ghost Wolf should write a book too. He has some good stories, really good. I have to have him call in again. I'll have to have him call in, man. Yeah, that's how come I don't worry about it, is they already know my whole life. I mean, I've been on, what was it? Remember MySpace? It was MySpace and then Facebook. And before that, there was forums and stuff like that. And I've been online ever since online was an online thing. I remember having to dial up, sit there and make that weird fax machine noise, and then all of a sudden you're online. But I was building computers for people at that time too. They're giving me like $5,000. Hey, build me a computer. And they're nothing like the computers today. Oh my God. Yeah, I've been missing you, Ghost Wolf. Like, I keep on setting my phone down, man. I am so bad. I am so sorry. I am terrible. My phone has been sitting next to my boots for a week and a half, and maybe even 2 weeks. I just barely picked it up today, and I looked at it, and I can't believe that it is 57%. And I was like, what? It still has battery life, but I guess when you're not on it at all and it's just sitting there, it lasts a long time. Batteries do. I was amazed. I expected it to be shut off. Oh yeah, this phone right here, the first computers, this phone has more gigabytes than my first computer at the casino. I mean, when I first got my first when I in my at the casino that I worked at, when I got my first 1 gigabyte hard drive, oh my god, I thought I was in heaven. Well, a lot of them are quitting. A lot of the Facebook people are quitting. Have you noticed that? YouTube people, they're all quitting all of a sudden. Yeah. I was watching this video and it was about the government, and they were saying the police, right? FBI, they were saying that they could track 98% of the population of the world with the cell phone. They could find anybody because nobody is more than 3 feet away from their cell phone. Now, they might be able to track me to my house, but they're not going to track me 3 feet to my cell phone most of the time. Because I'm usually a lot farther away than that, but I'll be in the same house, so they will be able to get me. And then I saw that one, what was it, Fit Watch or Fitbit or whatever it is, where the people put the thing on and they go exercise and run around and it keeps track of everything. And it was giving up secret government locations, because you could go on there and see a map of where everybody was using their Fitbit. And all of a sudden there's these places in the middle of nowhere where there wasn't supposed to be anything. And there was these little places where people are walking and exercising and stuff like that. And it was mapping it. That was so funny. I'm terrible about my phone. A lot of people get mad at me. My wife, my kids. Like the one that I'll have with me is the actual Obama phone that I keep. I keep that in the car just in case that it breaks down. So it's in there and charged all the time. But I'm really bad. My wife will be calling me and then my phone's at home and she's like done at the doctor, and I'm not even using it how I was supposed to use it. Oh man. No, but only did you guys see the picture of the guy recently took a picture some pictures and it looked like a square in the sky? Did you guys see that one? I saw that and it was like really clear. You could see it looks like a rectangle flying. And I pulled it up on the computer and was looking at it real close and blew the picture up and was looking at it. And you know what it looks like to me? It looks like a cell phone turned upside down on a seat like this, face down with the screen on, right? And you could see the light leaking out from under the screen, under the phone. And he was taking pictures of what he thought he was seeing, a UFO, but it really was probably the reflection of a cell phone laying in the seat with the screen on. And in the article, he said that he got out of the car and to take a picture of it outside the car, and the UFO was gone. And I was thinking, well, of course, you idiot. It was a reflection of your phone in your seat. But I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't really know. But it just looks like it. And you might look that one up and see what you think. Let me know what you think it looks like. But I think I am almost, at first, when I looked at it on the cell phone and it intrigued me, I'm like, whoa, look at that. And then when I went and got on the computer, it was like, oh, wait a minute, that looks like a cell phone. And so I think that's what it is, but don't, go look for yourself and look and make, I'm not sure. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. That's the recent thing. And then I was at the grocery store and I was talking to I know everybody at the grocery store because I've been going to the same one for like 50 years and the guy he seen a UFO that was about 2 miles wide and he tried to take pictures of it, but his phone wouldn't work. And him and his wife were walking a track at a school. And they were trying to get once they realized the phone would not work at all underneath it. He said it was blocking out the sky. It was huge and it was really low. And then they tried to get people's attention that was walking around the track. They walk around it every night, for exercise using their Fitbits or whatever. I wonder if they work under UFOs, and everybody was looking up and they couldn't see it. But him and his wife saw it first, and then she alerted him, and he looked up, and all he saw was a red light, and he told her it's an airplane, and she's like, "No, really look." And then when they were really looking, then they realized it was a light on one corner of it, and it had a couple of lights, but it was like 2 miles wide. And he's seen it again. He likes to race, like street racing out in the country. And he was out. They do secret locations, and they all meet out there and they all do a couple of races and then they leave and they race for money. And he was out there and one flew over and a lot of the racer guys saw it, but their phones won't work to take pictures. So interesting. I get asked to go to the Bigfoot ones. Like I had an event I was going to go to this weekend in Tahoe at the Biltmore, and some kind of snafu happened because I told them they don't want to pay, and so I have to pay my way there. How you make your money is with merchandise. That's what they say. Only when I used to do casino stuff and I would hold events, all the people that spoke, I had to pay. And all the bands, if I had bands playing, they had to pay. And also the booths I sold. So like they had to pay $200 to have a booth and they could sell their wares or merchandise or whatever. So and then you comp a room. Like if it's a 3-day event, you give them 2 nights in a room. I mean, that's like normal. These guys are saying I got to get myself there, pay my own room. They'll give me a booth where I could sell merchandise so I can make some money, And I'm like, no, I'm turning them down. If they want me there, they'll help me get there. And then they'll set me up somewhere to sleep, and that's how it goes. I don't do it. I'm not going to do it unless it's like that. Shoemasher. That's a nice tribe. They have a good casino. I almost worked there. They were going to give me $94,000 a year to be the marketing director. It was when they were building their parking garage. Didn't have it open yet, and they were going to hire me. And only Steve Wynn hired me in Vegas, and then I got hurt. That was about the time I got hurt, and I couldn't work anymore. star map on a stone out in Ojai. Man, I want to see that. Man, keep your eyes open for Bigfoot out there if you're out in the foothills. I mean, I don't know if you heard, Chris, but Millerton Lake, they saw a Bigfoot over Labor Day. So, like over in your area, those foothills all around over there, there's Bigfoot over there. I'm telling you, there is. That is amazing. And it might be old too, like 1,000 years old. Believe it or not, some of those grinding holes, they might have used them for hundreds of years. And if you find one that has lots of them, it could be real old. That is cool. Be in the high Sierras? Where at? I'll go with you. Yeah, man, you're not kidding. All my kids left California, James. They're leaving. They're all going back east. They're going to Indiana and stuff. But they're working. They're getting good jobs over there. $20 an hour, $22 an hour starting. Like no experience or nothing. $22 an hour. And then renting houses for like 600 a month. It's really good over there, except it's Arctic in the winter. Why do Bigfoot like shiny things? I have no idea. That's a good question. If I Alan in Oregon, where did I retire in Oregon? Oh, you're going north of Mammoth. So you're going to go up 80. If I was going to retire in Oregon, where would I retire? I would probably retire in Ashland or somewhere around Ashland, Southern Oregon, because it doesn't take a long time to drive through Oregon to get anywhere. It's not huge like California to go from one end to the other, and I don't like snow. So I would stay along down in there, and I like how it would either be that or over by Jackson, along over there, because I like the beauty of everything, and I don't want to be right next to all those big volcanoes when they go off. And the farther north you go, the bigger the volcanoes are. Yeah, Eugene's pretty cool. My sister-in-law lives just outside of Medford, and then I have some nephews and stuff like that in Redmond and all around, really, Oregon. I have family all over Oregon, everywhere, and it's beautiful all over there. It has a weird feeling. Like I know for sure I wouldn't go to Klamath. Klamath has the most weirdest, oppressive feeling that I ever felt anywhere in the world. As soon as I drive into Klamath, I feel like I'm being like pushed down by some kind of evil something. It's the weirdest feeling, and I felt that my whole life. Every time I go to Klamath, I really don't like Klamath. I mean, I love the area. Don't get me wrong. North of Klamath and all around the lake and Crater Lake and all that, beautiful. But man, Klamath has weird. That's where I lost my tent too. Woke up and my tent was gone. I mean, I've always felt weird there, always. I would love to check out Colorado. I have a nephew that moved to Colorado, and he's doing really well over there too. Yeah, Yosemite is weird, man. It really does have a weird thing. I never felt threatened though. Maybe because I was a kid and growing up there, but I used to like the fire falls. I don't know if any of you guys are old enough to remember the real fire fall, but every night, man, they would push fire off the side of the hill at Glacier Point and make a fire fall. And oh man, it was awesome. I used to love it. We watch it every single night at 9 o'clock, and it was great. And I hated to see that come to end. There's no reason why they can't do that still. That's something. I mean, that they did that for years, way back, and the environmentalists stopped them. It's bad for the air and all that. Dummies. Take all the fun out of everything. And California's the worst for taking the fun out of stuff and your money out of your pocket. Like, go to the gas station. Man, they are taxing the crap load out of us at the gas. I just paid $3.71 because I paid cash. If I would have paid with my debit card, it would have been $3.76 or something like that. But $3.71 a gallon. Man. And I put $20 and it barely even budged the needle. And there's a lot of Colorado's another one of those 411 states. A lot of stuff happens in Colorado. Man, you guys, that's like $1 cheaper a gallon than here. Wow. East of Mount St. Helens. 244. Man, anything below 3 and I would be happy. Really, really happy. It has not been below $3 a gallon here for a long time. I haven't yet. When did you upload them? I haven't really been around computers lately. I've been busy. I mean, I've been around the computer, but I haven't been online hardly at all because I've been working in here to make, like, when I first started in here, I don't know if you guys, if I told you, but how does it look? How do I look? Can you read the things on the wall behind me and stuff like that? I probably should put the other camera on and come on like tomorrow night and let you see the difference between this camera and that camera now that I have the lights and all that stuff. And then I even played around with the sound, but I haven't really watched any videos. But I will go check out your videos. I know you're the one, you're Javier, right? Going out to the Kings River and over by Pine Flat and finding structures and footprints and stuff like that, right? Thank you, Daytona, and how are you, buddy? Cool, man. I'll go check it out. After I get off of here, I got a couple of things I got to do, and then I'll come back and turn on when I go to turn all this off. I'll check out a video or two. What? Yeah, not. I don't think any do. Now that would be Ghost Wolf could do that. He could probably find stuff down. He's down by that way or closer to the Central Coast. But see, a lot of people say there's no Bigfoot over there, and I beg to differ. I say there's Bigfoot in every. I say the Bigfoot run across from here, following the Kings River and also the San Joaquin River, and run right straight across over to the other side, and all are all in those mountains too, in the Coast Range they call it. I know they are. We've went over there. We've followed the river the best we could all the way over to the other side, and we find evidence. Thank you, Viper. Billy, and hello. I don't know, man. I feel better working without him. And I think he never did feel comfortable working with me. I think I took too much of his limelight and stuff, and not that I meant to or anything, but he says me I a lot. And he wants, it's his show, his I did. So I feel better, like nobody's turning my mic down, nobody interrupts me when I have a thought or a question, and I kind of like being on my own. He says once he makes it that he's gonna call me back in and all that stuff, and we'll see. I'm not sure, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing, my own self, even though I'm having a rough time being regular, like having it a regularly scheduled thing. I'm working on it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate that. I need the encouragement, believe me. Hey, Knight Rider, what's up? I don't know. I think the structures are pretty much the same everywhere, really. And mostly, I don't think they're structures like what people think. I think they're like blinds, so they could hide in the night and get down in there and spy on people, or stay out of the sight of game, and then lure the game in and then pounce on it. Yeah, man, I kept them going. Actually, it was my electronics. Like, a lot of people don't know that the only reason I even started with Jeff is his computer fried, and we were out. I was already part of his team, and we were on a camp out, and he had a blog thing going. It wasn't even video. It was he was doing like a blog, like a radio thing, and his and I told him I could fix his computer. Then I fixed it, and I brought it over to him just in time for him to do his blog show. And he had a camera that one of our team guys left with him that was a commercial grade camera. I'm like, oh wow, I think I could hook that up to your laptop, and you could. And he was like, well, what do I use it on? I go, back then it was live stream was the only thing you could do. So got it all started on live stream, but only his little laptop, that was his computer, couldn't hang. We didn't have enough power to do everything for live stream. And I told him, well, I can bring my computer over here until we can build you a computer. And I don't know, 7 years later, I was dragging my computer over there every week. And 7 years later, I finally was, he kicked down the money. And actually, mine was starting to get too old. It was getting out of date, so it wasn't able to handle all the new video and audio and all the new programs and stuff, all the new studio stuff, because it was getting old too, 7 years. And finally, because mine was starting to slow down and not be able to handle it and stuff, we built him one. And then that's when pretty much he was like looking to get rid of me after that. And so then I came back here, and my computer wouldn't even do for me. I was like, if you watch some of my first videos that I started on, I was doing bedtime stories, and I was using my phone and stuff like that because my computer was wasted. I used it all up on Jeffrey's show. And actually, I thought of it as me and his show. I thought we were working together, it was in the last maybe 6 or 8 months of the year that I worked with him that I started realizing that it was all about him, and not about us. There's so when I got here, but then you guys are absolutely awesome. And I don't know if I should say his name because I don't know if he wants the notoriety or anything, but somebody gave me the money to build my computer, and another person gave me enough money to get like microphones and stuff like that. And other people donated other things and helped me get to where I am right now and what you're seeing right now. And I want to keep going. In fact, I was talking about it earlier, and I really this part bothers me a lot because I don't like people that know me know I usually am a hustler. I hustle up. I used to do, like, I would be working a full-time job, and I had a business or two businesses going at the same time. Like, I worked at the casino, and I also had I called it a hauling business, but it was actually cleanup. I would clean up rentals, paint, do all that kind of stuff. And then I had an earthworm farm. And actually, the earthworm farm was making more money than all the others. It was making about $10,000, $11,000 a month selling earthworm poop. So I'm used to like doing my own thing, and I'm actually I like helping people, and I've helped. I don't like saying, I don't want to. I'm not a Jeffrey where I'm I do, but I liked helping people. So I did foster kids, and I had a lot of people living with me and stuff like that. So to me, to be in this position where physically I can't do those things anymore, and I am disabled, and I am on Social Security, and it is about a tenth. What I make on Social Security is barely enough to barely live. And I've been trying to figure out a way to where I could get all my stuff done and also be regular on here and keep my computer updated and be able to do, keep going and stuff like that. And that's when I thought of the Patreon thing. Actually, Pam and some other ones, they found my Patreon and they started giving me $1 a month or so. And I thought, you know what? I could ask everybody, go to Patreon and just give me $1 a month. What was that? Because I think my mixer's about to break and I'm going to have to buy another one. The second time, it actually does that every time I come on, it starts making that noise. But so that's what I got going now, and I hope it's not a lot. I hope it doesn't hurt everyone. I would probably be okay with $1 a month if I had to give, and I don't want to be charging to where I hurt people. But if I can get enough people listening and stuff like that, that's plenty for me. So, and that's my second time I said that on this video, and I hope I don't have to say it again. Oh my God, it's like pulling my teeth to say these things. Yeah, it's in my description, and then also I have a Patreon link. If you look at my YouTube, there's a picture of the mountains, Sierras, and there's some links in the right corner. Well, it would be on this side of the thing, but in the picture, there's some links, and there's a little P, and you can go to my Patreon. And I haven't been keeping up on it, but I will start keeping up on it. In fact, I'm trying to think of a way where the people that donate the $1 a month get extra content or something more special from me than the people on YouTube that just tune in and listen. Because even if it's $1 a month, that means a lot to me. So I want to give back. I want to earn it, and that's just how I am. But I sure appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody so much. Like there for a while when I was first got hurt, I was locked in my room for 5 years, and I was in depression. And this was before I started working with Jeffrey. In fact, when Jeffrey asked me to work with him, it took me about 6 days to agree to it or not agree to it, because I didn't want to let him down. And what I mean by that is I let my own self down. Like, there's a lot of things I want to do and I can't do them. And I didn't want to commit to Jeff and then get in the middle of something and then not let him down. Not be able to do it and then let him down, I mean. And I there was times that I was in absolute agony, but I did not miss for Jeff. I never let him down. But only he could see. It's hard to hide when you are in excruciating pain where you can't even think straight. So it would be really hard to hide that from him. So out of anybody in the world, Jeffrey knows more than anyone what my limitations are. And that is why when he paints me as being more disabled than I am, because actually maybe I am as disabled as he says, but I don't admit it. And I push, right? I always pushed. Even when I wasn't disabled, I was pushing. You know what I mean? I was working a job and had businesses and taking on everybody, that couldn't take care of themselves, and had 20 something kids living in my house and their moms. And I mean, I always been that guy, and I never been in the shoes of a person that couldn't help themselves like that. So Jeffrey letting me out probably was the best thing that he could have done for me health-wise, because some of the times I was absolutely not doing good, but I wasn't going to let him down, though. See, I'm a man of my word. If I give my word and say I'm going to do something, I do it, except for carrying my phone around. I'm kind of bad on that. Other than that, though, like if I tell you I'm going to help you or I'm going to go do something for you, I will do it, because that's who I am. My word and a handshake and all that. It doesn't take some big contract, and I don't sue people and stuff like that, because I feel like there's karma, or when you pass to the next phase of your life, what you do here follows you to there. So you either get rewarded or you get punished into the other side, or you got to do overs or something like that. So I don't want any do overs. I don't want, I do not want to come back and do over anything over here. I rather do it right the first time and all that. And I do that in everything. So, but I never let Jeff down. So I feel good about that I went out and I didn't have to let him down. So he was the one that let me out. So it was nice. Yeah, Patreon, don't do PayPal, or don't do the YouTube one. The YouTube one's jacking me for my money. And I think it's because of the topics I have. They've been ghost, or what do you call it, shadow banning me and stuff like that. So right now they're jacking with me on my account, saying that I'm not who I am and stuff like that. So they can't pay me, even though they've been paying into it for a few years. I haven't really been earning that much. I used to get paid every month, and then they changed the rules, and I started getting paid like every 4 months, and the threshold is $100. Well, I used to be able to make $400 or $500 a month on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, I was only making like $12, and it wouldn't add up to 100 for like 4 or 5 months. Now, when it reaches the 100, now they want to mess with me and mess with me and mess with me. And right now, I think there's 121 sitting in there, and they're not letting me have it. So it's better if you do Patreon. That goes to my bank, and you can change it every month, like Pam said. It's just better, and YouTube has no control over it. Yeah, my PayPal works. It takes money. Only you can't set it up. I can't set it up to do $1 a month like I can with Patreon. But like some people that I can't, I won't name because I don't have their permission. But they've given me a considerable amounts in PayPal. It works very well. But I don't come begging either. Like, you guys don't hear me begging. I don't beg for money. I haven't ever begged. And in fact, this kills me to be asking. And I'm trying to keep it like as easy as possible, like $1 a month. Like, I think that is not asking a lot of anyone. I'm hoping that doesn't seem like a lot to anyone. And that's, I don't know about Google Pay. I think Google Pay goes into where YouTube is, AdSense. And that's the one that's messing with me. You don't make any money exposing the dark side. I think that's why Jeffrey doesn't like it, because believe it or not, Jeff spends a lot of money. I mean, the software that he's using to go live with, he pays by the month for. I use a free one, and I could do everything Jeff does, only I don't have bumper music and all that stuff. I could, a little crawl running along the bottom, and I could have my logo all over and all this stuff. I choose not to. I choose to be me. Everybody on YouTube has one like that, and everybody I in life, I never got anywhere being like everyone else, ever. In fact, being different, I stuck out, and that got me farther in life than if I was the rank and file like everyone else. Like, oh wow, you got to have bumper music. Oh, okay. So then everybody does bumper music, Well, you're not really a show unless you have bumper music. Well, I beg to differ. And I don't know. And even like when I was in the casino, they want me to wear a suit and all this stuff. I always wear, on purpose, I wear a polo shirt and Levi's and tennis shoes. Unless I really had a dress for the occasion, then I had a tux and all that if I had to. But if it was everyday, day-to-day work, I was in Levi's, tennis shoes, and a polo shirt, and I had a logo of the casino right here. So I like buck the system all the time. And I'm bucking the YouTube system right now and everybody's way of making a show, I don't care. I'm me. I'm going to do it my way. And that's how I'm going to roll, and that's how I roll. I can't help it. Okay, I will. I'll do that. Yeah, PayPal goes directly. You're right. I think the Patreon does too, I think. I don't know. I'll have to look. I haven't really looked. I have no idea. I think you can leave a message on PayPal. It'll go on my email. I check my emails every day, pretty much, because one guy that's helped me a lot. His name is Robert. I won't give his last name, but he's a great guy. He helped me a tremendous amount, and he was one of the first ones to actually help me monetarily after. I mean, like days after Jeffrey. He's like, you can't be doing what you're doing sitting there in the dark. So, and I wasn't even, he actually what kick-started me too, because I actually wasn't going to do this. I was just going to retire and go off into, into the sunset, and nobody was going to hear from me ever again. And he was like, no, oh no, that's not going to happen. That you have to be out in, you have to be doing something, and people have to hear what you have to say and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, here I come. Watch out, And he helped me out, so I'm indebted to him big time, and a couple other people. Actually, quite a few now. I mean, a lot, and I don't know if I should like say, oh, this person is this much, and thank you, or not really say and let him get blessed. Because I always felt like if I was giving, that was between me and God. And if you keep it between you and God, and if you go and blast out what you did, then any kind of reward that you might get from it, you lose it because you just got it by blasting it out and getting credit for it. So I always felt like I would keep everything I did on the down low between me and God. That way, when God wanted to bless me, and he blesses better than anyone, he would. But if I went out and shouted and, in front of everybody, then I would lose whatever God was going to do, because I collected my blessing by doing that. And I didn't want to collect my blessing. So, that's where I'm in. And actually, I got to say goodnight with Pam. You guys are great. You're wonderful. Go find my Patreon thing and give me $1. Man, that feels so weird. Well, I love you guys to the most. I pray for all of you. I pray that you're all healthy. Everything's going fine. I pray for your protection every day. Thank you for everything that you've done and are going to do or will do or even won't do. You guys are the greatest. I love chatting with you. I know sometimes when people find the video, they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But if you're in chat too, I'll talk to you just the same. And I'm going to start doing some recorded stuff, deep dive on research on certain things that I want to really dig deep in and I can't do live. So I'm going to start bringing some of that. So be looking for it. It takes me a little work to do to get them done, but start keeping your eye out for some recorded stuff coming. So with that, oh, hi, Winter and Odie. I will see you guys tomorrow. Who is it? What's his name? I'll check him out. Joshua Kuchin? I'll check that out. I haven't heard of that. God bless you, Cold Warrior, and Ghost Wolf, and Connie, and Amanda, and Pam, and all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ghost Wolf, tomorrow when you're on your way home from work, I'll have my phone. I promise I'm going to keep it. I'm gonna put it in my pocket because I want to touch bases with you. I've been meaning to, and so I will. And so give me a holler on your way home from work. And with that, I will end the stream, and good night. I'll see you soon.